So I had a very strange reaction to something very strange that happened in the wide world o music recently that I thought I would share with you all because I think that this is psychologically fascinating. What a certain piece of news, how that made me react, and I thought maybe you all might find it interesting. So I guess we're going to find out. As many of you either probably know or inferred from the kind of music that I play occasionally in my reviews, I'm a big fan of rock music, specifically blues rock, but just the whole rock genre in general. I'm a huge fan of most. And there are a few very interesting things going on in the genre right now that I think people aren't really all that aware of. Them Crooked Vultures is a great band, and it's one of those supergroup kind of bands where it's comprised of Josh Homme from Queens of the Stone Age, as well as other bands, Dave Grohl, who was obviously in Nirvana, and John Paul Jones, who was in Led Zeppelin. And I thought, you're going to take one of the guys from Led Zeppelin and put him in another band? This isn't going to work. It worked amazingly. But I don't know that a whole lot of people are aware of Them Crooked Vultures. There's another band called Rival Sons, which is very, very good. And then there's a band called Wolfmother. They've been around for a few years, and I'm a huge fan. I'm a huge Wolfmother fan. They've had some amazing songs, amazing band members, amazing albums. They've only had two, but the albums have been really, really good. The band has undergone a lot of lineup changes over the years. In fact, it started out as three guys, and two guys left, and then it was just the frontman, Andrew Stockdale. And Andrew Stockdale got a complete lineup change and still called the band Wolfmother. And I'm like, that's okay. You know, it's not like Guns N' Roses where they were touring and making albums forever as one consistent band, and then everybody left except Axl, and he's still calling it Guns N' Roses. That really pisses me off. This is different. This was one regime, and then the two guys went away, and then it's a new lineup. That's okay. It's early enough to where I can still call this Wolfmother and be satisfied by it. So here's what happened. In Wolfmother, there was going to be another complete lineup change, and there was also going to be another album. So this would have been the third time that Andrew Stockdale is essentially releasing an album as Wolfmother without any of the first-tier guys or the second-tier guys. This was going to be the third complete lineup change. I was still willing to go along with the band Wolfmother, even though the band members had come and gone like a revolving door, because the music was still really, really consistent, as far as I could discern. Andrew Stockdale was pretty much the driving force behind the band in the first place, and so the sound stayed pretty much consistent. It wasn't like Chinese Democracy where it was just something else, and he's slapping the name Guns N' Roses on there. I know I keep going back to that, but it still really bothers me. This didn't bother me. I like the band Wolfmother. I think it's an interesting name. I think it's a band that is worthy of attention, and so I was willing to go along with this. And they talked about the new album, and they said they have it recorded, they have it done, they're waiting to ship it, and I was very, very excited. This is going to be the third Wolfmother album. I was so excited about this. And then, very recently, Andrew Stockdale made an announcement, and basically what he said was, there's a slight change of plans. We're going to release the album, it's going to be exactly the same album, exactly the same band members, exactly the same songs. Everything's going to be the same. I'm just not going to call it Wolfmother anymore. I'm just going to tour as Andrew Stockdale. I'm dropping the name. And when I heard that announcement, something very interesting happened. All of a sudden, I wasn't that excited about the album anymore. I was still aware of it. I was still kind of thinking about it. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to listen to it, and it's probably going to be good. There are probably going to be some tracks on there. But I wasn't all that enthusiastic anymore. And I don't understand where that comes from. What is it about changing the name or just dropping the name of the band altogether that made that completely change for me. My attitude completely changed. And then I realized, as far as rock and roll goes, I'm really kind of a band guy. As good as something like Jimi Hendrix is, which, don't get me wrong, I'm not criticizing Jimi Hendrix by any means, but I was never really able to get into Jimi Hendrix the way I could get into Led Zeppelin or the Stones or the Who or even Aerosmith, because it's not a band. It's just this one guy with musicians that are just going along with whatever he's doing. And somehow, for some reason, that makes a difference for me. I don't know why. The music is exactly the same. If you called Jimmy, if you took just Jimi Hendrix and gave that a band name, I probably would have been into it. And I'm trying to wrap my mind around where that comes from and what that is. Why is it so important to me to get behind a band? And, you have things where bands will break up and the artist, the front man will go solo or somebody in the band will go solo. And it just changes the whole game for me. With the exception to that is Slash. I love Slash. I think he's the greatest guitar player alive. Feel free to debate that in the comments because I know you will. But that's just my opinion. I love that man. I love what he does. I love what he plays. And I will follow him to the ends of the earth. With the exception of that, it's all about the band to me. I like getting behind that title. I like getting behind that group. I like groups. And this is just such a unique case for me because it's all, with regard to the new Wolfmother, what would have been the new Wolfmother album, it's all exactly the same. The only thing that has changed is the name. And that changed everything for me. So I put it to you, the viewers. Am I nuts? Am I just putting way too much stock in a title? Why do you think this is? Why do you think that's happening? Have you ever had an experience like that, where something that shouldn't have mattered just made all the difference for you? Leave me a comment and let me know, because I might be alone on this, but I thought that was a fascinating reaction for me. I myself do not understand why I'm having this reaction. So leave me a comment and let me know, and check out the bands that I mentioned, Them Crooked Vultures, Rival Sons, and Wolfmother, which unfortunately will never be again. And I'm actually really bummed out about that. I really loved that band. But for now, just ponder what I've said, and let me know what you think.